Okay, today is the last lesson of cells for anatomy and physiology. It's going to be called cell division. Cell division is all about a parent cell, which is known as the original, replicating into two daughter cells, which are the new cells. Now, don't take this literally. It's not your parent cell splitting into two of their daughter cells. The parent, in biology, the parent cell is considered the original. And if you've taken bio, we talked about the parent strand or the parent cell, and they will replicate into two copies. Those copies were just called the daughter cells by someone a long time ago. So don't take those literally. I want to go over the three reasons for cell division. Why do cells have to divide? Anybody want to take a shot? Why do cells have to divide in organisms like a human? Eva, why would you need to make new cells? Under what occasions or conditions? Okay, repair. That is one. Injury repair. You break a bone, you tear a ligament, you scrape your skin. You have to heal. We always have to heal. Don't pick at your scab, it's healing underneath. So tissue repair is a big reason for cell division. What else? Lillian?
I think the cell sometimes, once it gets to a certain size,
No, it has nothing to do with the size of the cell and needing to split to reduce its mass. Growth. I mean, you guys are teenagers. You're going through puberty. You're almost done with it. Congratulations. I know it's not that fun. But when you guys were freshmen, you were tiny. And now you've gotten taller and bigger. You're actually like taking up more mass. Do any of you have parents that would have a little wall in your house where they measured your height over your years? I mean, you have literally gained mass. You have literally gotten bigger. And that requires more cells, more tissues. Your bones have lengthened. Your muscles have grown. You guys have gotten taller and bigger. So you need to grow. And there's one more. This is the one that people forget or don't realize. Do you remember Isabella?
No.
Sam, do you remember? Or Hannah? No, that's for meiosis. That's different. Replacement. You guys shed thousands of skin cells a day, probably millions. Disgusting. You have cells inside your body that just naturally expire. Your lifespan, if you're lucky, you're going to be 80 to like 100 years old. Your cells are always regenerating. In fact, let me tell you about your skin cells. Look at this. You're going to learn this in just a few weeks. You don't need to draw this. Just pay attention. This right here is your hypodermis. That's your fat. That's your third layer of skin. This is your dermis. That's your second layer of skin. If you'd like to get a tattoo, that's where they put it. The top layer is your epidermis. And here's what I want to focus on, epidermis. Right here where I'm highlighting, right down there. Today is September 9th. You have a brand new layer of cells in the very bottom of your epidermis. In 1 month, about 30 days, that bottom layer is going to make it all the way to the top. And what will happen to it once it's at the top? It sheds, it's gone. This process is going on your entire life. If you want to get kind of freaky, the skin that you're looking at in the palm of your hand will be gone in like a few days. And the layer beneath it will take its place. In a month from now, you'll have a brand new like layer of skin. And that's been going on about every month for every year of your life. We are always replicating new cells because the old ones are worn out. Your bone has to be replaced. There are some tissues that don't necessarily replace, like nerve tissue or the tissue in your eyes. Those are long lasting. But other cells need to just, red blood cells get worn out. You get rid of them. White blood cells get worn out. Get rid of them. They have to be replaced. So these are the reasons for cell division. growth, repair, and replacement. The cell cycle is what we're going to really focus our talks on. It's the whole process of getting the cell ready for division and then actually dividing. So this is the process of preparing the cell for division. And then dividing. And because it is a cycle, it's continuous. So what I want to do for our remaining 12 minutes or so in class is I just want to map out for you the different stages of the cell cycle. And tomorrow I'm going to do more drawings, more diagrams. Some of them will be on your mastering. I made your mastering yesterday, so I know for sure that they're on there. So it's definitely things you want to get in. So for the rest of today, we're just going to go over the different stages. If you've taken bio or AP bio, this is nothing new. Here we go. The largest and by far the most time spent in the cell cycle is spent in interphase. In mammals like us, it can be up to 90% of the entire cell cycle. So this is the majority of the cell cycle. In interphase, you're doing two things. The cell is recovering from the previous division. And preparing for the next division. I'm sure you guys have been to a Lightning game before, back-to-back champs. Now, in a hockey game, there's 2 intermissions in regulation. Eva, you ever been to a Lightning game? Sure you have. What do you think the players are doing in the locker room during that 18-minute intermission? They're resting. They're recovering from the previous period. What else do you think they're doing? To do what? So they're recovering from the previous period. What's after intermission? Okay, so not only are they recovering from the previous period, but they're preparing for the next one. That's what an intermission is. There used to be some movies that were so long that there had to be an intermission in between. Y'all ever seen the movie Titanic? Titanic was made in the late 90s. It was so long that halfway through the movie, the word intermission just went across the screen, and people in the theater would go to the bathroom or go get something to eat and come back for the second part. It was such a long movie. That was the intermission. So you're recovering from the previous stint and you're getting ready for the next one. So interphase has 3 parts. It has the G1 phase. And be sure you skip lines like I am. The S phase and the G2 phase. These are the stages of interphase. Sam, do you remember what is replicated in the G1? You don't have a lot of options. Think about what would need to be replicated within the cell in order for it to go from one cell to 2. Not DNA, that's a different one. Organelles. Organelles are replicated. They're doubled. So Sam, if I had 20 mitochondria, how many am I going to have after G1? 40. If I had 5 ER, how many will I have after G1? 10. You want to double all your organelles because you're going to make 2 cells. Each cell needs to get a full complement of organelles. Isabella, what is replicated in the S phase? DNA is replicated. Anybody know how many chromosomes a human has? 46. After S phase, we have 2 copies of 46. And then in G2, you make your final preparations. It's like checking the hotel room before you check out. You're making sure you didn't leave anything behind. You're getting ready to go. Final prep for cell division. And that is all of interphase. It's by far the majority. And I'll diagram this for you next class. The minority of the cell cycle is called M phase. M phase is actually nuclear and cellular division. It's just so we're all clear. When I say nuclear, I don't mean radioactive. When I say nuclear, I mean the nucleus is dividing. M phase is divided into two portions. Mitosis, which I'm sure you've all heard before, and cytokinesis. Taylor, do you happen to know any of the stages of mitosis? Let's see. Danny, do you? No. Jack, do you remember any stages? Lillian? What's that? Anaphase is the third stage. So you're not wrong. Anybody tell me the first one? Metaphase is the second one. Prophase. Prophase is the first one. Now, guys, there's a lot going on in prophase, so bear with me here. Prophase is the most active portion of mitosis. You ready? Here we go. First thing that's happening, the nucleus erodes. The nucleus is gone. It erodes like a rocky mountainside along the ocean. The DNA condenses to chromosomes. And like what Isabella said earlier, we have 46 chromosomes. So the nucleus erodes, the DNA is now free, and it condenses to chromosomes. You can actually see it. The spindle fibers assemble. And the chromosomes move towards the middle. And I'm going to draw all these for you next class, or maybe I might have a handout for you. So yeah, there's just a lot going on. The others are not that active. So what comes after prophase? Metaphase, that's right. Meta means middle. So what's going on in the middle of the cell? What's they? You're right, centrioles are pushing something in the middle. What are they pushing towards the middle? Your chromosomes. The spindle fibers align chromosomes along the metaphase plate. Now, the metaphase plate is the midline. Now, I have a very simple question. Every time I ask it, the person I asked is thinking, okay, it can't be this easy. This is like a trick question. The metaphase plate is the middle of the cell. It's like the midline, like the equator. So, Hannah, of all places for the chromosomes to line up, why do they line up right down the middle? So they can split apart evenly. That's it. There's no trick to it. It's not a trick question. So they can split apart evenly. We're running low on time, so I'm going to hustle. Anaphase. Chromosomes are split and pulled to opposite ends. And finally, telophase. Two new nuclei form. DNA decondenses. It's no longer in chromosome form. And again, I'm going to draw all this for you tomorrow for all you visual learners. Cytokinesis, the cell physically divides into two cells. And that's it. Hold on. I'm going to